we party! We drink, we fuck, we party! We drink, we fuck, we party! We drink, we fuck! We having no scores to share and go to bed early, innit?
It's the Dukey Radio Show.
Hello. With me in the studio, Sylvia Silversmith.
Hello, everyone.
And Marsha MacDonald.
Yeah, peeps, what up?
Oh dear, you really don't sound very happy at all.
Dukey, have you seen the weather?
It's been grim.
I mean...
Here in London town, and indeed the rest of the UK, the weather over the Easter weekend has been, well, the resurrection of shit weather.
Dukey, it's been raining for 4 days.
Are we just going for the whole 40 days and 40 nights business here?
Yeah, I might start building an ark. I kind of like this weather. I call it hunkery weather.
Do you enjoy the fact that you can shut the world out?
Yes.
You can stay in, get a duvet
Yes.
around your shoulders, and
Yes.
watch loads of bad television, or indeed read dodgy magazines.
It does.
Highbrow literature, if that's your thing.
I'm up for either.
Right.
I like highbrow, and I also like trashy mags.
Yes.
So, yeah, it's kind of like Mother Nature is taking a sick day.
Yes.
So I like that.
So Mother Nature, in a way, is enjoying her own holiday somewhere else. Another planet in another galaxy.
Leaving us with 4 days worth of shit.
It has been a bit grim.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't even gone anywhere because it's like, I go out. Like, me and Syl, we were going to go to the cinema, and we were just like, no, screw this, man. Both of us just looked at each other, and we're like, like the Witch and the Wizard of Oz, like we're both going to melt if we go out in the rain.
I presume it was an indoor cinema that you were planning on visiting.
Yeah, but you know what it's like. You gotta... you gotta walk to the tube, and then you gotta walk to the cinema, and, you're just gonna sit there steaming in the heat with your wet clothes. And, when you don't want to go out, like you Brits say, you can't be bothered. Yeah, so that's, we just stayed home, Netflix,
and chill.
Yeah, and salty snacks.
It's a good combination.
There's been a lot of salty snacks. A lot of salty snacks.
What variety of?
Well... do we want to get into this, Dukey, because it's quite involved?
I think we have to start now.
Okay. So, do you want to hear about popcorn?
Please.
Well, Dukey, there's a particular popcorn that I love that you can't get in this country. You can get a lot of stuff in this country. Like when I first moved here, you can get Oreos. So I used to have my parents send me care packages of Oreos. And now, Oreos are just commonplace. You can just get them in any grocery store.
You can even get them in chocolate bars that you purchase from.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Household name, what used to be British chocolate bars.
Exactly.
You can have them. Cadbury's do them in various different guises.
It's true. So there was a time that you couldn't. And then popcorn used to be quite difficult to find over here in the salty variety. Like outside of the cinema.
True.
Like in the grocery stores, I remember having quite a hard time finding popcorn. But now, again, it's ubiquitous.
Yes.
Ubiquitous.
That's a very good Sylvia word.
It's a good word for me.
In the cinema, you have the option to have salted popcorn or sweet.
Yes.
In the Americas, is that available when you go to the cinema?
It's so funny because, in fact, I was talking to a friend of mine about that the other day because she was eating sweet popcorn. And I said, as an American, I don't really do this sweet popcorn. And she found that hard to believe because if we have sweet popcorn, that means it's covered in caramel, right?
Right.
Yeah, like Cracker Jacks. You smother that stuff in caramel, right?
Or it comes smothered in it already.
Yeah. You know, it's not just sugar on it. It's like a blanket of caramel.
Yes.
Yeah, so the first time I saw that you had sweet popcorn in the cinema, I was like kind of freaked out by it, like because there is no such thing. You know, it's butter or nout. So I really like a particular brand of cheesy popcorn that I cannot find in this country for love nor money.
Do you have the stuff imported from the Americas then?
No. Well, I went looking for it. And, you know, don't write in. There are particular companies here that do like a gourmet cheesy popcorn.
Right.
But it's like £6 for like a teeny tiny little bag. It's ridiculous.
That's really expensive.
It's crazy.
Mind you, the amount that you spend on popcorn in the
no.
cinema is a whole other
true.
conversation.
That is true. So, and I tried one of these little bag once because that's how desperate I was for cheesy popcorn, and it wasn't very nice. Like they add all kinds of stuff to it, like onion powder and stuff, and I just want pure cheesy popcorn. So I decided to import some. And you say, Dukey, that did you import it from the States? You would think I did not, though. I imported it from a completely different country.
Right. Is this country on this side of the pond?
Yes, I do believe it is on this side of the Atlantic.
And I realise this is a topical question. Is
Yes.
this country a member of the European Union?
As far as I know,
Right.
they are.
And is this part of Europe which is well developed?
Yes, absolutely.
Does this country produce cars that are famous and popular and words that are synonymous with?
Lots of countries produce cars that are amazing. Like,
Does Norway produce a car?
oh no, okay, I see what you
Right.
mean.
Does Denmark produce a car?
Oh, okay, so I'm being a bit thick.
Does
Anyway.
Estonia do a car?
Well, they probably
Lithuania?
do. Surely they must.
Portugal, do they do any cars?
There are no Portuguese cars? Wow.
Belgium, any cars?
Dukey, I've been getting it from Germany.
Right. Fair enough. It was around the houses. So this is a German product that you're purchasing?
No, it's an American product from a company that is based in Germany.
Right. So
I don't know why.
This is a German concern who import popcorn from the States.
They import American products.
Right. For purchase around the EU.
Yes, I presume, I could be wrong, but they must be like expats living in Germany who decided to set up a company. You know, you can get Goober peanut butter. I mean, you can get anything American from there. I whiled away an entire afternoon just going through and go, oh, you can buy Nerds. Oh, amazing. I used to love raspberry Nerds. Fabulous.
Nerds. So you're actually
You don't know what
eating
Nerds are.
geeky kids.
No, Dukey, Nerds are like these little, like, sour candy.
Right.
Dukey,
Tang-tastics, what are they the equivalent of that? The Tang Fantastics?
yeah, but they're not like gummy candy. They're like sugary candy, and they're tiny. They're like smaller than Tic Tacs.
Right.
They,
So are they the size of space dust?
yeah, a little bit bigger.
Right.
And you buy them in boxes. Silver, you placing an order soon? I was just, in fact, when we came over here today, I was just about ready to place an order. So, Dukey, next time I will have us some Nerds. Because you need to have Nerds.
Lord
And we
knows.
could try them on air.
Oh, goodness, yes.
I mean, Nerds made Marcia and I what we are today. Yeah,
Really?
that's true. That and a Jolly Rancher.
Are we talking about the sweets or friends who were, shall we say, big fans of Dungeons and Dragons?
I got some nerdy friends. But yeah, I'm talking about the candy. You know, that Jolly Rancher. You ever had a Jolly Rancher in your life?
I have, yes, on an American tour. Nerds. Are Nerds, they're still being produced, obviously, if they're available via this
Yeah.
German place.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, you get them in different flavors, you know. Yeah, they're amazing.
When I toured the States, we purchased some Goober peanut butter just because of the name.
You have to have Goober.
This had peanut butter and jam together.
Yeah, grape jelly.
But they were
yes.
in separate designated stripes.
Yeah, they get squirted in there. I'm not a big fan myself. I like my peanut butter
really
and jelly
disappointing.
to be okay,
Yeah.
was
Great
it?
name, though.
It's a great name. Was it too sweet for you?
Yes, even
Okay.
the peanut butter part seemed
Was it?
sweet.
Yes, even as a kid, I wasn't that big into Goober. But this place in Germany, I mean, they have just saved my proverbial bacon because I've been buying in bulk. So they must think, who is this person in the UK just buying all of this cheesy popcorn? And occasionally, Dukey, no, not occasionally, every time I've ordered from them, I get a little something extra.
Wait.
I get a little something.
Legal?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay, fair enough. I thought...
But, so good it shouldn't be.
Good.
And I've got some English friends who would say that it shouldn't be legal.
Right. Is this something that you ordered in addition to your normal things?
Yes.
Oh.
An American... I mean, you can get it here, but only... It's still a little difficult to find.
You're being elusive and I'm excited.
Dukey, it's the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup.
Okay, you can get those here quite...
You can. It's gotten
easily.
a lot easier over the past few years. Only the past few years. Only quite recently. How do you feel about a Reese's Peanut Butter Cup?
I think it's a thing of beauty.
Oh, okay.
I like them.
I have an English friend who said to me, I don't get that salt and sweet combination that you Americans are so big on. Like the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup, she thought it was like a thing of disgust. So, yes, you can get them here. That is true. From this place in Germany, you can get giant ones.
So are these giant, separate
Yes.
Reese's,
They're like a giant...
if you will, cakes?
Well, yes, I suppose you could call them that.
It's the only confectionery mainstream product that I can think of which has its own case.
It's got its own beautiful casing, Dukey.
And
And then I kind of came in for a bit of Sylvia's wrath.
why is that?
It was nearly the end of a beautiful friendship stroke roommate agreement. Not quite. It was, but Dukey, I
Trouble in
there was
paradise.
trouble in paradise, Dukey. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie to you. My order came with 2 of these.
Right.
Right. So I ordered 2 of them because I thought Marcia might want like one
Along
as well.
with your popcorn.
Along with my popcorn. And Dukey, I ate both of them.
Oh, dear.
And, I feel bad. I do feel bad.
Do these come in packs of 2 in the way that the normal Reese's products do?
They come in single. Well, see, I didn't eat both of them. I had a friend over, and Syl was out. So I said to my friend, "Do you want one of these? Because there's 2, And then Sylv came home and was like searching through the cupboards, looking a little concerned. And I was like, uh-oh, I think I know what she's looking for. Yes, and I said to her, I felt absolutely sure that I ordered a couple of giant Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. And then Marcia had to fess up.
Oh, dear. Oh, Marcia.
Yes.
And when you say jumbo, giant, huge, any idea of size that you can give to our listeners to give an indication of the enormity of these products would be really useful now.
Oh, gosh, Marcia, help me out here. Yeah, that's a tough one because in circumference, they're actually a little bit smaller than the usual ones, but they're thicker.
Right, so the width is slightly smaller than the normal Reese's
like
cups.
A little bit less than your average cupcake.
Right.
But thick.
So the depth of them has been enhanced.
Yeah.
And by how much? Are we,
Double.
Oh, goodness. So this is
Yes, I
quite
would
a
say
significant increase in size.
So I think it sounds like that when I go home from here and place my order, that I'm ordering enough for 3.
Yes.
As long as with some nerds, too.
The nerds, well, I'm a bit worried about these nerds.
Do you like sour candy?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
Just a sour, sugary candy.
Is it sour in the way that... Is it Tang-Fastics? Have I remembered that correctly?
Yes, yeah.
It's in that family.
sour.
I'll
yeah.
give that a go. There are other confectionery products, and indeed other countries that produce sweets. Just important for us to say that, so our sponsors are not upset.
Exactly. So, Dukey, I feel like I've taken over here with my American products.
You and your American sweets taking our taste buds by storm.
That's, and Sylv's had a bad week, Dukey. She's had a bad week. So I think she needs some cheering up, don't you, Sylv? I do need some cheering up. I have had a bad week.
What's happened?
Well, Dukey, I think we should talk about you, though, because we can't just talk about me. Dukey, but you sound, and you haven't told us all about it, but just since we got here, seems like you've been having a good time.
I've had a good week.
You've had a good time.
I feel a bit
So
guilty.
you've had a shit, Sylvia's had a shit time, and you've had a super time.
Yes.
Okay.
It's a bit like, if I have a good time, you have to suffer, and vice versa.
It's like a seesaw.
Yes.
Yes.
The yin and yang of
Yes, it's
enjoyment.
a bit of a shame, really. It's a bit of a shame because I think that all of us should have a good time.
Here, here.
Whereas I'm kind of like in the middle of that seesaw, like my week has been all right.
You seemed a little bit miserable about the weather earlier.
Yeah, well, I'm not like you guys. I kind of like my sun. I like a bit of hot. But other than that, I'm all right.
Okay.
Things are all right.
So, Sylvia, what's happened?
Dukey, I keep getting yelled at
Oh.
by strangers.
By
Strange women.
strange women that you've been working with?
Well, no. So there's two separate incidences, and I'll describe the first one to you because it's shorter than the second one. So the first one is I went to an art gallery yesterday, and I was in the gift shop, and I turned around, and I guess my bag nearly swiped this plate.
A plate that was on display and for sale.
This plate that was, and it was quite expensive. So I guess my bag came quite close to it. And a woman, she didn't even work there. She was just a customer. She went, and then she went, "Excuse me," like in this really officious tone. And I said, "What?" And she said, "You nearly knocked over that plate." Really hard on me.
Oh, dear.
And I went, "Did I?" And she went, "Yes." Like I had just taken, just had a big poo in the middle of the whole store.
With that sort of treatment from customers, I wish you had.
Yeah, and I just felt properly chastised.
Oh, dear.
It put a bit of a damper, and I was like, okay.
And at the Tate,
Yeah, it
you
was
would
just-
expect a different class of people there, don't you know?
Well, yeah, the officious upper-class posh woman, which is what she was.
Ultimately, if you had knocked that plate over,
I would have
the
paid-
worst case
yes.
scenario is that you would have paid for it.
Yes.
And presumably, if this plate was on display,
It was quite a sturdy stand. Yeah.
so it was quite robust. But they wouldn't put the most expensive thing out in the open.
I mean, it was pricey, but it wasn't. But I just thought,
But that's
well,
your business.
I nearly do a lot of things. I nearly, I don't know. I can all of us, surely we nearly do lots of things that don't happen. Nearly. So, normally, it wouldn't bother me that much, but it comes only several days after a dressing down by a complete stranger on the phone.
A cold caller?
Well, no, Dukey. I had briefly mentioned to you that there was a dog
Yes.
that was up for adoption,
Yes.
and it's a sprawly dog,
Which is a way of keeping it in the family.
which is your Molly dog.
Yes, Molly the Sprolly, the name, really says it all. The
Yes.
Dukey Radio Show dog is a Sprolly, which is basically mixes Springer Spaniel with Collie, hence Sprolly. And you and Marsha, who live together, had contemplated very, very seriously adopting a Sprolly.
Yeah, listen, I wasn't much to do with this, but
Yeah, but long-time listeners,
yeah.
long-time listeners to the Dukey Radio Show will be aware that Marsha tolerates dogs.
Yeah, fine. And Sylv was great and consulted with me. And I was like, yeah, whatever. You want to get a dog, whatever. And if I'm home and I have to let it out, whatever.
Right.
And then Sylv got yelled at.
By the dog.
So, Dukey, I mentioned to you, maybe we could even be co-owners of this dog.
Certainly. For those who are unaware, Sylvia and Marsha live very close to Dukey HQ. Dare I say, we live in the same community.
We do. We do indeed.
We are
Dukey.
postcode neighbours.
So, how cute was that dog? Remember when I showed you the picture?
Oh, goodness. Imagine something really cute, multiply it by 3, and honestly, you won't be close.
So, Dukey, I didn't want to tell you because you were at rehearsal and then you've been away. And I didn't want to take a great big glittery shit all over your parade because I knew you were having a good time. I don't know why the shit has to be glittery. But there you go.
I suppose it's a shit which, due to the glitter being added, makes you more aware of the fecal part of that combination. It's a way of it's a way of decorating something that's really unpleasant.
Yes.
In a way that makes the unpleasantness that much more to the forefront.
Poopy.
Yes.
I guess because we're talking about dogs, and dogs are wonderful, 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 superior creatures. And
They certainly are.
Then you get dog ladies involved.
I have found this in the past. I've met a few total barnacles.
There's
in
a
this
breed,
arena.
no pun intended, of dog ladies. Like, there's one who walks around our neighborhoods, and she comes across as really nice, but then every time I've walked your dog, Molly, she always criticizes me for something, and she does it in a really passive-aggressive way. So, like, I had put her lead on a little bit funny once, but, Molly was fine, but the lead was just a little crooked. And this lady went, "Oh, you put the lead on that way. That's interesting."
Ooh.
Like, and then the last time I saw her, she found a little clump in your dog's ear, like where her ear hair got a little bit matted. And she went, "Oh, I see she hasn't been groomed in a while. Well, she seems happy." And I'm like, what is your deal?
I was quite unhappy.
Yes, I
when
know.
I was informed about that comment. And I do know the woman who, again, on the surface is very nice. She has the demeanor of a matron.
She's very matronly. So, and there's just women who just love dogs but hate people.
Yes.
Whereas, I think you can be a dog lover and still like people.
Oh, certainly.
So, and that's just a different person.
I would put the two of us in this category.
And the lovely Leon who you interviewed.
Oh, yes,
The lovely
Leon
and
Towers.
gorgeous. Yes, the lovely gorgeousness that is Leon Towers and his gorgeous and wonderful colleagues at the House of Hugo. See, these are people who love, 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 love dogs, but they also love people too.
Absolutely.
So this lady, this sprawly dog is at a rescue center and run by this one lady. And she called me up the other day, and I just got home from work and I was like really tired and I was just trying to make dinner. And I picked up the phone and immediately she started shouting at me. I mean, I'm not exaggerating. She was actually shouting.
Oh, dear.
I was there, Dukey. The look on Sylv's face was really kind of heartbreaking. I mean, I was looking at her like, oh, okay. I nearly took the phone over and was like, I don't know who this is, but what is your deal?
Marsha has got your back.
Yeah, you don't mess with the Sylv. You know what I mean?
I don't want to be messing with the Sylv.
Well, she wanted to mess with the Sylv because she just started off, I mean, no small talk. She just started off yelling at me, going, well, you don't know anything about these dogs and how much time you're going to spend with this dog and who do you think you are kind of tone. And that went on for 20 minutes. And I tried to say, I took care of your dog and that's a sprawly dog. And she wasn't having it. And everything I said, she was just like, you can't do that with a dog. Like I said, sometimes when I've taken care of Molly of an evening, like I'll give her a chewy. She chewed me out over the chewy.
Oh, my
To
word.
use an American expression.
Really?
You can't give this dog a chewy. She was yelling at me. She went to town on me, Dukey. I mean, she handed my ass to me.
Why is it you can't give a dog a chewy?
I don't know, something to do with this dog and he can't be left alone with chewies, but that's not what I meant. I wouldn't leave a dog alone with a chewy, in case they choke. And she just wanted to yell at somebody.
And when you say yelling, was her voice
she raised her voice.
level?
Oh, yeah, she was piercing and just downright nasty.
But ultimately, in the big picture, she's running a rescue centre.
I know.
You are a potential forever home
I know.
for one of her dogs.
She referred to other people who were interested in this dog as, and I quote, idiots.
Oh, dear.
And I just thought, it's just so unnecessary. I nearly said to her, I'm not going to carry on here because I think you're being really unpleasant. But then I saw this dog in my head. And, when I see dogs in my head, I hear angels singing. It's kind of like, oh, I heard that in my head. So it's kind of like, it must be how religious people are like when they think of Jesus. Like it just calms them down because they just think there's a higher being there. And that's how I feel about dogs. So I didn't say that. And then, I tried to be an intelligent human being and be really calm. And I kind of got her to a point where she stopped yelling at me. But it was really, really exhausting.
Oh, dear.
And then, she just kind of said, you better go think about this. Kind of like she was going to put me on the naughty step.
So, in effect, you've been reprimanded for showing an interest.
Dukey, I was so reprimanded. So I've been reprimanded twice this week. So by the time I got to the lady at the Tate in the gift store, I was just like, there must be something about me that just makes officious women want to yell at me for some reason.
It has been a week in which the full moon has made its presence known.
True.
And it makes me wonder if there's a link. Sometimes I feel it.
Dukey, you don't believe in that crap. Really?
Well, it's a way to tie everything together. Sometimes.
Dukey, I used to have, my auntie was a psychiatrist, and she was very realistic and very pragmatic and didn't have a spiritual bone in her body. She said she worked in a psychiatric clinic, and she said you could tell when the full moon. And this was a woman who did not suffer fools. She was a very intellectual woman. And she said it definitely gets more crazy when the full moon is happening. So maybe that's it. I could do with crazy, though. I can't really do with officious.
There's no reason for that woman, for either of those people to have behaved in that way. In the case with the plate, it nearly happened.
It didn't happen.
In the case of the dog, you're being very sweet. You're potentially going to provide a home for this dog. It's a wonderful thing that you're offering.
I know, but Dukey, I don't want to whinge anymore. I even had a name picked out for him.
Yes.
And the case hasn't closed. I kind of left it open.
I was going to ask.
Yeah. So, I didn't want to think, I don't want this woman's horribleness to get in the way of this dog's happiness. It's just kind of like, I'm not really quite sure whether I'm right for this dog. I just want him to be happy. But I did pick out a name for him.
Right.
Which is related to your amazing band that you've been playing with.
Okay, I'm right.
Well, your band reminds me very much of the Dada movement.
Oh, we are talking about the musical ensemble known as Flesh Tetris.
Yes. To me, you're very Dada.
Oh, I agree with that. Yes, absolutely.
I have no idea what that is. What the hell? What, like a baby's first word?
I mean, it isn't goo goo dada, but it is Dada. Sylvia, let's see if we can divide this in 5 sentences or less.
I should be able to do what Dada is.
Yes.
It was an art movement where they celebrated, they were anti-art.
Yes. And this was established in the last century.
World War I, so they were a bunch of artists and poets and musicians who were protesting the ridiculousness, what they saw the ridiculousness of World War I by being ridiculous themselves.
And it helped that they were based in a neutral country, Switzerland.
It started in Zurich, yes. And they would just do like really ridiculous things on stage, like just nonsense words, and have 3 poets who are all reciting the same poem at the same time, but in 3 different languages. And, just taking the absurd. So it's kind of like Monty Python is really Dada.
Absolutely.
Like that
most
really
definitely
absurd.
Yeah, Dada definitely inspired Python, no doubt about it. And at its epicenter, a venue called Cabaret Voltaire, which inspired the name for the 1980s band.
All right. Okay. So, see, you learn something every day, especially from you two people, you cultured people, you. So what does this have to do with your band? Well, see, I think that your band is quite Dada-esque. Just the way you look and the song lyrics and the titles like Catbox Journey. I mean, just amazing title. And one of the founders of the Dada movement was called Hugo. So I thought, what a great name for a dog.
Oh, Hugo the Sprolly.
Oh, Hugo the Sprolly.
Oh, I like that name.
And it's also would be a big up to Leon Towers because his business is called the House of Hugo.
Certainly.
So I thought either that or Marcel, after Marcel Duchamp,
Oh, yes.
the guy who did the urinal and called it art.
I've been to the urinal and produced some art, no doubt about it.
So Dukey, your band, who I think is very Dada-esque, has been playing. You've played a couple of times.
Yes,
You're quite
we
new together.
Indeed, we did our second gig at a festival in Manchester at the weekend.
I like the pictures.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I like the pictures because, you can't beat a guy who's wearing a silver cape. Let's face it, you can't beat it, right?
No, it's unbeatable.
And with a pink beard.
It's a combination that works and is memorable, and Andy Hijinks, the singer of the band, as well as the player of a chaos pad, is beautiful. I think he carries off that look
One of the
amazingly
singers.
well.
One of the singers, though, right? Because you've got like 3 singers.
We do.
Yes.
A triple vocal attack. Oh, yes, this is true.
And when I saw you guys, you wore silver bunny ears, which I greatly appreciate.
And that was at a gig in January. So in a way,
Yes.
we were rehearsing for the glories of Easter.
Amazeballs, as you would say.
Yes.
So, Dukey, you played a steampunk festival.
Yes, called Timequake in the heart of Manchester. And being a steampunk festival, basically we were in an aircraft hangar that was dedicated to all things steampunk.
See, now I know what steampunk is, and I like the look.
It's a very, very impressive look. I like it,
Yeah,
yes.
I like the way, it's what Victorians thought, right? Have I got this right? It's what Victorians thought the future was going to look like, right?
Yes.
Kinda?
That's an interpretation.
Oh,
I
okay.
think purists probably have a different view, but sod them. But that's basically the way I see them. This isn't necessarily going to appear, on Wikipedia under steampunk. Is to my eyes in 2018, they look like time travelers from the Victorian era.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right, yeah.
But
Fair enough.
that is absolutely synonymous with your description, where it is a Victorian idea of the future.
I like it. I like it a lot.
A lot of goggles.
Yeah, there's a lot of goggles. There's a lot of like leather hats. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So it's cool.
A lot of top hats. A lot of hats in general.
Yeah. A lot of headwear. Yeah.
And from an accessories point of view, a great deal of silver. At this particular event, there was a branch of steampunk Star Wars fans.
Wow, niche.
You have not lived until you've seen a steampunk interpretation of Princess Leia and Darth Vader.
Okay.
And there was even a steampunk R2-D2, which the exact same size as R2-D2.
Right.
This wasn't a person in a costume. This was basically a makeshift robot.
Right.
Or a droid rather. And it looked like R2-D2, but if R2-D2 was made in 1886 by futurist time travelers.
Then he'd have to be made out of wood.
Yeah, so there's wood,
Right.
brass.
Oh, cool. That's
And,
cool. What
yes.
about I'm having a hard time with the Darth Vader. What is that?
Imagine an 1898 vintage funeral director
Right.
with a black helmet.
What's the helmet made out of?
The
Because
helmet.
they didn't have plastic then.
Well, no.
I don't know. Is Darth Vader plastic?
Darth Vader is just plain evil.
Okay. Wow. Right. What? Speaking of nerds, right?
I think Darth Vader's helmet,
Yeah.
although, yes, it was
Yeah.
fabricated out of plastic.
Yes.
But surely being, in a galaxy far, far away,
Yes.
it's a material that we mere
Of
earthlings
course,
are
we
unfamiliar
don't know.
with.
Yes, of course.
Yes.
Of course. So, but what's a steampunk Darth Vader? Is he made out of wood?
Yeah, his
Okay.
his appeared to be. Oh no, it wasn't made out of
No.
wood. His
Okay.
appeared to be made out of steel,
Oh, okay, of course. Okay,
but it was
of
painted
course.
black.
That's cool.
I mean, in reality, it was made out of a material that looked a bit like steel.
right? And well, yeah. Wow. These, you know, I respect people who, when they're into something, they're like really into it. You know, I
absolutely.
like that. I think if you're going to be into something, be the whole dealio. Like you see Comic-Con and you're like, wow, did you spend like a whole year making that outfit? Jesus.
It's a commitment.
Yeah, like a commitment.
It's a lifestyle. It's a subculture.
Yeah, I like, and then you just think, wow, they must live for these festivals.
And also the demography was very, very interesting.
Right.
Teens all the way up to octogenarians.
Oh, wow.
All dudded up in their finest steampunk splendor.
That's cool. Getting ready. I always think getting ready must be fun. That's got to be fun.
And people were quite pleasant. There were a couple of Doctor Who stars who were there for the event.
Oh.
Joe Pasquale was there interviewing one of the Doctor Who stars. He himself, Mr. Pasquale, was dudded up in all of the finest steampunk gear
I don't know who that is.
available.
Is he the guy with a funny voice?
He has a soothing voice.
But he doesn't really. He has a funny voice, doesn't he?
No, I mean, it really is a voice that's piercing.
I don't know who. Is he? He's an actor.
I have no idea actually what Joe Pasquale does.
Oh, okay. He's just a person.
He's a television entertainment person.
I see.
Yes.
With a funny voice.
I just know him from television.
Why were people from Doctor Who? Is it
think
because
the
of the
whole-
time travel thing?
The whole time
Okay.
travel element is quite important. And there's always a nod to explorers, hence the goggles.
Oh, I see. I see.
And there's one store, for instance, which just sold Victorian-style paintings of Zeppelins.
Is that like the Hindenburg?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And just the notion that you could be traveling in one of these things, and from a Victorian perspective, this could help you to travel to another dimension, another time. But the
see.
Doctor Who factor obviously is going to resonate with these people.
I gotcha. I gotcha.
And from a fandom point of view, the people are really, really lovely. You know, as a band, we weren't dressed up in a way that was, 100% steampunk friendly.
No, that's because you're Dada.
And
You're avant-garde.
yes. And we were welcomed with open arms. And it was great seeing these steampunked up people dancing away, often with ensembles that would make dancing quite difficult.
Yeah, I bet. Dukey, it's like bizarro world integration.
In a way, yes.
Let's get all the people with all the differences and get them together because, we're all loving something.
Yes.
Got something in common.
Yeah,
It's
coexist.
what Martin Luther King would have wanted.
Martin Luther had a dream, and that dream was a reality
It's
in
realized.
Greater Manchester at the weekend.
Wherever you can realize it, that's cool. You welcome somebody with open arms. It's good. And, you're in an arena.
Yes.
Where do you play in an arena?
They cordoned off different parts of the arena, exhibition centre to be fair, for different purposes. So, you had an enormous area dedicated just to stalls. So if you
Gotcha.
wanted to buy a top hat with goggles, they
Wow.
had loads available.
How do you run that business? You know what I mean? Because you got to have a pretty limited customer base.
It's a niche market,
yeah.
but these are people that keep coming back for more.
All right. See, sorry, I'm just relentlessly pragmatic.
I like the look very much. The only issue that I had, and what prevented me from spending £88 for
Wow.
a combination of hat and goggles,
Is that you're never going to wear it again?
is it's such a uniform look. The people that I thought looked the best were those that went off-piste with their steampunk appearance.
Yeah.
But as a whole, it was great to see, families in which you'd have, mum and, dad with their teenage kids, and they're all done up as though they're out for a picnic in 18.
Well, we all have our tribes. You go to a heavy metal gig, everybody's wearing some kind of black T-shirt with, some variation of, neck studs or whatever. And, everybody's got a tribe they got to show that they belong to.
And the uniform helps people to
exactly, that's
assimilate.
What I mean. Yeah. So what I don't get is why when Sylvia and I just came over to your house, you left your TV on.
Yes.
And you'd obviously been on the YouTube.
Yes.
Looking
there
at...
are other ways of watching clips.
Platforms,
yes.
as they're called, I think. You'd obviously been watching the Mad Max.
Correct.
Now, does that have anything to do with this stuff?
Very much so.
Okay.
Flesh Tetris, the band that I was up at Timequake Festival performing with, shared the bill, the stage even, with an outfit called V2A. V for Victory, the number 2, A for Apple, who are a musical ensemble comprising of Brits, some Germans, or certainly at least one German person, and they do a music which is a hybrid between industrial, techno, and EBM, electronic body music.
Wow, there's a lot of people getting into a lot of stuff out there that's pretty niche.
And I can go a bit more niche than that.
Yeah.
And the theme that they have within the band, the image and the lyrical content is based quite heavily around the Mad Max Fury Road film.
I see.
Aesthetically...
Is that the latest one?
Yes. 2015, it stars British actor Thomas Hardy, as well as the South African-born actress Charlize Theron.
I saw the trailer for that, and it's really not my kind of thing, but I thought it looks cool. Like it, literally looks like the cinematography and the makeup and stuff looks cool.
And the ensembles are cool. The cars are really, really cool. And that's what this band have embraced.
I can see that.
Each member of the band, and they've got people doing all sorts of things on stage. Looks like they could be, behind a weird-looking vehicle doing some kind of a chase in the Fury Road film.
A weird-looking vehicle with a skull on your shifter thing.
Exactly.
Like a shifter thing skull. And I would expect that they get through a lot of black eyeliner.
There was a lot of black eyeliner. This lot looked like they're ready for post-apocalyptic car chases and warfare, for that matter.
Wow.
And the songs that they perform live incorporate bits of dialogue from the film.
From the movie?
Yes.
Okay. Is there a problem with copyright there?
My guess is in these Comic-Con years.
Yes.
What they're doing is promoting the film.
That's true. It's a good trailer.
We're talking about this film franchise.
A good promotion, yes.
It's 2018 now. I think Mad Max Fury Road came out 3 years ago. It was 2015, I think, that it came out.
Right.
So it keeps that film alive.
That's
People
true.
who haven't seen it are listening to this podcast now, and this might help to perk up interest.
So they I bet they've seen that movie a lot.
No doubt about it.
Okay.
And just to put the idea of a sound in your head, imagine like Rammstein.
I'm imagining chainsaws for a start, like the chainsaw sound.
Yes.
Okay.
There's an industrial sound.
I'm imagining grinding gears.
Yes. It's industrial, it's dance infused, there's a tempo to it,
Right.
It's kind of like that. Like, imagine every Rammstein song that you love. And if you don't know Rammstein, go and check them out on YouTube, yeah? Look at a song called, like, Ich will, and it's that tempo. But the only difference is, although it has that sensibility, they are singing bits of dialogue from Fury Road. For instance,
I live, I die, I
live again. We live, we die, we live again.
Wow. We live.
We die, we live again.
We live again. So they're Buddhists.
In a way, yes. In a post-apocalyptic way, they have embraced the
Post-apocalyptic
glories of reincarnation.
Buddhists.
Yes.
Wow.
And it just imagine that you've gone to an industrial EBM aerobics class. At least that's what it felt like to me. I
Dukey.
was bopping and hopping around like a twat for
Right.
the whole of the performance.
Well, that doesn't get your sweat on.
Now, the lyrics that have been inspired by the film are interesting, but it's their original material that has the same meter that really, really resonated with myself and the rest of the Flesh Tetris gang.
So some of their songs are lyrics that they've taken from the film.
Yes.
And some of them are lyrics that they wrote themselves.
Yes.
And does all the music kind of the same?
The
Like they
music-
don't switch over into Vivaldi's Fourth Season.
No,
It's kind of,
no. This is a full-on industrial dance techno EBM onslaught.
I gotcha.
But one of the tracks, which I had to say had some amazing dancing related to it,
Right.
had the following lyrics.
Hit me.
We drink, we fuck, we party. We
Wow.
drink, we fuck, we party.
They haven't traveled, speaking of time travel, they haven't traveled too far from the, what is it? We live, we die, we live again.
Yes.
So, they've only traveled what, an eighth of an inch
Yes.
from that kind of setup.
Certainly.
Right.
Yeah.
So
But,
the irony.
It's a small step, and arguably with a slightly more hedonistic sentiment attached to it. But
True.
so that song was going through my head.
So wait a minute. Dukey.
Right.
So when I see the Mad Max movies, and there was a lot of driving, right?
Yes.
So and they drive and they drive and they drive. And when I saw the trailer for what's it called, Fury Road, I just thought, well, surely they're going to run out of land pretty soon because they've been driving for miles.
In the post-apocalyptic world, there's not a great deal of water.
Do they not hit a cliff or a sandbank?
No, there's a lot of that.
Oh, is there? So for me, it's quite interesting, like what Martha is saying, that, they haven't traveled far from the original sentiment of the we live, we die, we live again to we drink, we fuck, we party.
Yes.
They literally, yes. I'm with Martha. They only traveled like an eighth of an inch to send up this movie where they do nothing but travel.
True.
They must cover hundreds upon hundreds of miles.
Oh, absolutely.
So, yes, I find that interestingly ironic.
And the guitar player possibly had the best addition, annex, if you will, to that particular chorus.
Right.
And after they'd finished, I went up to the green room that we had, a secret green room. More
Wow.
about that later.
That sounds
the room,
whoopee.
the room had a cage in it, but more about that later.
Everybody needs a room with a cage in it.
Certainly. And, availing ourselves, myself and the Flesh Tetris gang, of the drinks that are available. And the guitarist from V2A was the first person to make it back to the backstage area, or
Right.
the green room. And we were in celebratory mode. He walks in,
Yeah.
and myself and Eva from Flesh Tetris, shout out, we drink, we fuck, we party. The guitarist reply, we drink, we fuck, we go to sleep early. That's what it's been like for me lately.
Bless him. Bless his heart. The rock and rollness of it.
And we need to do a bit of time traveling.
As long as you get the drinking and the fucking, you don't really
certainly.
need the partying.
Yeah, indeed.
Yes.
And this guitar player, who looked cool as fuck, by the way.
Right.
Super likable guy. And during one of the songs, he jumped out into the audience. And this place was, the venue, this part of the arena was very, very, very crowded. And he kind of came up, and he's kind of egging on the audience and doing a lot of hand motions. And he then came up to me, we'd met each other. He knew that I was from the band that were on earlier. And he whispered to me, I don't do anything in this song.
Oh, bless him. I think I love him.
Come on. Yeah.
What's his name? Because I love him.
Oh, I didn't get his name, but I will find it. He's absolutely lovely.
I think he's wonderful.
He's like wandering around with the guitar. And
So he doesn't play guitar in the song.
in this particular song, in the drinking and the fucking and the party.
Only in the
yeah,
drinking and the fucking.
This was it was elsewhere in the set, and I think he really jumped out into the audience during a sing-along bit to do a lot of hand gestures, largely because there was no actual guitar playing in that particular number.
So he's like what kind of music do you call Rammstein?
It's only an industrial thing. It's just good fucking music as well.
Well, yes, but what genre, I suppose I mean?
I was saying techno-industrial
Rock.
rock. Yes, there's a rock element, absolutely.
He's the Bez of the techno-industrial rock movement.
At least on
just
that
in that one song.
Yes.
So he just becomes Bez.
Yeah. The boy can play. He just wasn't playing on a lot of the songs, and it was just great because he looked like he was prepared to kill me. This is a man dressed up for the post-apocalypse and ready to defend himself.
I love that.
And it was just, and he's quite well spoken. He goes, don't do anything on this one.
Oh, bless him. During the gig. That's so lovely. It's like you were saying to me, your neighbor is going to the Download Festival and he really wants to see Guns N' Roses.
Yes.
But you said he was asking you because he's bringing his daughter who's like 13 or 14.
Yes.
And he was worried about getting violent. And you were like, well, metalheads are like some of the most mellow people.
The heavier the music, the more mellow the people are.
Yes.
Off the stage and away from the stage.
But it's
Absolutely.
like the people who you look at, who your mom would look at and go, he looks like a nice young boy, like some indie kid that you just think is probably the biggest asshole on earth.
The bulk of the problems that have taken place at festivals, at least in UK and throughout Europe, have been more at indie-related events. No issue with the music myself, but
no,
it's just,
I'm an indie girl.
It's just it's just very interesting.
Like you could bring
punk and metal festivals are far more mellow affairs.
You could bring a member of Rammstein home to your mom, and she would be just what a lovely person. If you marry him, I'll be over the moon. It's just fabulous. We drink.
Yes.
We fuck.
Yes.
We go to bed early.
Yeah. Oh, it was so sweet, and he looked like he was quite knackered as well.
He
just put on quite an amazing performance, and they're a great deal of fun and lovely, lovely people.
Like, if there's any listeners from the chronic fatigue community, and I know that there is a community, that's their new theme song. You got to do, fun stuff, but, you still have to go to sleep early.
Certainly,
you got to get your Z's.
It's like, do fun stuff. Feel free to imbibe.
Yeah.
Do it in moderation.
Yeah.
And then you
fornicate.
need to fornicate.
Yeah.
And then, let your nocturnal visit replenish your energy levels.
Get your Z's in. You gotta make up for the drinking and the fucking.
Yes.
Yeah, I love it.
And the backstage area, more about that now. So we arrived at the venue and we were asked if we wanted to see the secret green room. So we
that sounds pretty special.
Followed a labyrinth of sort of alleyways and corridors and whatnot.
Hello, Cleveland.
Yeah, indeed. Well, yes. There's a bit of a Hello Cleveland moment that happened.
I see. That's not the first Hello Cleveland moment you've ever had in your musical career. That was at Dukey.
I had a genuine Hello Cleveland moment in Northampton at a venue called Roadmenders.
Right. Could you not find the stage?
I could find it, but the route that I took me to a door that was padlocked. So the band were getting on the stage, and the door had a little window in it. So I'm
so they can see
on
you.
It.
Oh gosh!
And I didn't realize on the other side that there was a chain with a padlock on it.
Oh, I see.
I thought that all that somebody had to do was to open it from the inside of the venue, and then I had to go and find my way through a different route. It took about 10 minutes.
Wow!
I was not popular, but I would have had my route worked. It would have been fine. It would have been on time perfectly.
Wow, Dukey, you have the patience of a saint. So you had another Hello Cleveland moment.
Yes, and so we So we arrived at the venue for soundcheck around 5 o'clock, blah, 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 blah. Soundcheck takes place, and the event coordinator, lovely, lovely person, shows us to this really funky alcove, stroke bar, stroke entertainment area that had been cordoned off just specifically for the bands. And we put all of our belongings in there.
Yes.
And we were told, all your stuff will be safe here, but for a whole host of boring reasons, because the daytime festival was ending when we arrived there, and then there was a ball that we were playing at, yada, yada, yada. We could only really have access to the secret green room from 7 in the evening. And fast forward another hour, and we arrive back to avail ourselves of this lovely area where all of our belongings are, including food, drinks.
Oh man, you don't want to leave your snacks in a place where they say where access isn't until 7. You know what I mean? Because I'm thinking I might need snacks at 6, and that could be problematic. Was it problematic, Dukey?
Oh, it was problematic.
Did they keep you from your snacks?
They did.
Yeah, see, that's not cool.
So we arrive back there, and we get told by a different person of some note, saying, "Oh, apologies, but that room that we had earmarked for you fellas, unfortunately, that's no longer available. But we've got an even nicer place, just down the hallway, yeah."
Well, good for him and all his politeness, but now you got a guy standing between you and your snacks. And to me, I'm breaking out in a cold sweat just hearing about that.
And the idea of just having a room for us to be able to change into our ensembles and to be able to relax, that was the most important thing. So, we were completely fine with this, and just said, "Oh, cool. If we can just go and grab our stuff from the original room, that'd be great." It had been locked. Using a key code pad thingy, that's technical terminology. And this guy didn't know it. The person who locked the room, which again had all of our belongings in it, had left the building. He did an Elvis.
Dukey, you had drinks in there too.
We had drinks in there.
Right. So beer and snacks.
As well as, our ensembles, all of our belongings, really.
Okay, so that's not good.
No. And, an hour or so passes, and still, we've had no access to our stuff. Now, the venue and the organisers could not have been nicer. They said, well, whatever you have in there, we'll match it. So, they gave us some lagers and stuff, but obviously we still, clothes and things in there. So
something tells me that they're not going to be able to just magic up a silver cape out of nowhere.
No. Oh, goodness.
And some bunny ears.
I mean, if they could, that would be interesting.
And a theremin.
But we did have some stuff that was magicked up for the stage. More about that later. So the venue were looking after us, and we ended up being put in a room that's used exclusively for martial arts gym training.
Oh, hence the cage.
Yes, and the entire floor was made out of that rubbery
that
material
like
that you have wrestling
floor.
Matches on top of.
Oh, Dukey, you know what I need in my life? I need a bouncy floor.
Oh, tell me about it.
Don't you need a bouncy floor in your life? You come home from a rough day at work. You got a bouncy floor. I mean, they're problem solved.
Indeed. There were punching bags in there.
You got punching bags and a bouncy floor?
And a cage.
If we had that in our house, when Sylv got off the phone with the mean lady, as I've been calling her, with a bouncy floor and a punching bag, she would have forgot about that in 1 minute.
Tell me about it. Therapeutic.
Oh, my God, I'm so jealous.
And a lovely place to relax. You
can
sit on the floor, and a couple of the band members made use of the cage. One of them had to tap out. I'm not going to mention names, but he does wear a silver cape.
What? Oh, was he wrestling?
He was wrestling.
And somebody bested him?
Yes.
Okay, well.
That person who bested him may have been named Karen. And,
I like, some ass-kicking female action there.
Indeed.
Now, please, Dukey, tell me that he was wearing the silver cape during the wrestling.
He was.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
I'm loving it.
If you're going to have at it in a cage, you want to look the part.
if I'm going to have at it in a cage, Dukey, if I don't have a silver cape, I ain't doing it. You know? You got to have a silver cape.
Yeah, here. In fact, I'm going to put that in my list of requirements for future gigs.
On your rider.
Yes. A silver cape must be provided, or else the gig won't happen.
Okay, so anyway, I'm worried about your stuff.
Yes. Now, I'm pleased to report that some 40 minutes later, the relevant Elvis person who left the building turns up again. We're reunited with our stuff.
Oh,
all
so
is good.
It's like Elvis reappears. It's like people seeing him, people seeing images of Elvis.
Now, we're back with our drinks and salty items of food. All is good. We didn't have cheesy popcorn, I'm afraid.
Well, any salty snack will do, yeah.
It was all good. However, it dawned on me around the time of sound check that there were only 2 microphone stands. Now, as
You've
Sylvia,
got 3 singers.
well, we have 3 singers.
Oh, jeez.
And clearly there was an off-site, and we were thinking of ways to make it work. Andrew Hijinks was toying with the idea of putting the microphone in his pocket and to brandish it in the way that a lightsaber gets brandished in Star Wars.
I like this. This is like avant-garde MacGyver.
Certainly.
I love that.
But the bottom line is when you do that, it means that the microphone can be prone to feedback, and if the sound engineer doesn't know the songs inside and out, and nothing's been released yet in terms of our musical efforts. So we couldn't expect him suddenly to know where to press the mute button and the faders and whatnot. So it wasn't ideal. Now, 2 people who were working behind the scenes at this steampunk festival just said, leave it with us.
Gus, I love that. Can they come work with me?
And just as we were about to go on,
yes.
and we just thought, they're going to make a couple of phone calls. Maybe they're going to go and see if there's a local rehearsal studio.
Yes.
Get a microphone stand in. They fucking built, MacGyver style, a steampunk microphone stand, especially for Andy Hijinks.
Steampunk MacGyver?
Yes.
That's the best thing I've ever heard.
And this was a sturdy affair. Required 2 people to lift it.
Oh my gosh.
You're not going to be doing any James Brown,
You're bouncing it off the floor type thing.
This was in no danger of moving.
I love these people, and I need them to be my friends.
They were fantastic.
I love all of them. Like, I love the avant-garde biz. Or no, sorry, the industrial punk
Guitar
metal
playing, yes.
rock biz.
Yes.
I love them. I love the steampunk people. I love them all.
And just small things. There's a degree of niceness with the whole event that, instead of myself being all cheesy about it, I've just had this one exchange which is coming to mind. And this says it all. This one phrase describes the vibe so well. We were loading one of my big bass cabinets in, and I was carrying it in, and one of the organisers said, "Excuse me, yeah." And I thought, I'm going to be told I'm taking this to the wrong place or whatnot. "Excuse me, is that for the brown note?"
It took me a second to get that.
Yes. And,
I don't get that. What is that? You guys are making me feel like a thicko. What the hell's a brown note? Is that, have I got that right?
A brown note.
Do they mean like, is that German or something? Like brown?
No. Hello, my name's Brown Note. No.
What the hell?
There is a theory that a certain note...
Yeah, what, that you played,
particularly at a low frequency, is going to be so powerful that it will make people who are exposed to it shit themselves. Hence, brown note.
Oh, so this person asked you, is that for the brown note?
It was a big bass cab. And
what a question.
Yes. Now, obviously, she was joking, but
I hope
it was just the idea that she'd felt the confidence to stop me while doing the load-in.
I like that
with
person.
the cabinet in my hand.
I do like that person. Because I bet you get a lot of officious people at
you do.
venues.
You do. And a lot of the time it's, particularly at an event which is running and you're part of a much longer day.
Yes.
Often...
That must be really hard for them to organize.
Yeah, certainly. And often at these kinds of things, there's a tradesman's, entrance that you have to go through. And we were going through the main venue doors. So I'd half expected that we were going to be told, yeah, excuse me, you can't use that. You're going to have to go around the back. And just to get, excuse me, is that for the brown note?
Dukey, is it for the brown note?
Oh, I delivered some, yeah. A couple of people shat themselves.
Does that actually hold true? I mean, does that really?
Mythbusters tried to do it, or tried to do a variation on the theme.
That's where I know it from. I was just trying to think, how do I know this?
Mythbusters certainly did the scenario where a singer's voice can be loud enough to break a glass.
Yes, I remember that one, but they did the brown note as well. Otherwise, I wouldn't know what that is.
Yeah, they had various acousticians. That is nearly the word I'm looking for. Bringing in specific types of amplification and gear specifically to try every note within the scale using the appropriate subwoofers for this purpose.
Okay, so here...
I don't think it worked.
Yeah, but if it had... How were they gonna? Was the person just gonna hold up your hand if you've pooped yourself? Is that what they were gonna? I'm sorry, I'm so psychotically pragmatic, but
right.
I like to know the machinations of how, So how were they gonna know? I've just shit myself. So, well, there you go. How were they gonna know?
Well, how would you know if you'd been exposed to it yourself?
Well, so they've got.
You would know because you'd be loading your.
Yeah,
you'd be loading your knickers.
But how were the two Mythbusters guys? How were they going to know?
If memory serves, and if it didn't play out this way, it should have.
Yeah.
I think Adam Savage may have just been exposed to the sounds in some white pants, white underwear.
Okay, yeah.
And then the idea being that maybe it was some careful blurring out. Should the event have happened, you would have got a good idea of the...
I like that.
The effectiveness
I know this isn't Sylv's humor, but you and I are finding this to be faintly amusing.
Yes.
Dukey, I'm going to the opera.
Oh, okay. Are you going to bring a
well,
wine
that's
glass?
what made me think. I'm going to the opera. I've never been to the opera in my life. I don't really want to go.
Are you going to see Puccini?
Oh, that's good.
Yes.
I like that. Is there somebody called Lipschitz? Who says should be, right?
There is
it's like
now.
a composer called Lipschitz. Yeah. Do you think? Yeah, I'm going to the opera. I don't want to.
Does that mean you ain't gonna?
Well, I can't because my friends bought the tickets.
Which opera are you going to see?
What's it called? Is it? I don't know anything about the opera, but Martha, did you not tell me it was La Traviata?
Oh,
yeah,
right.
that's the one. What, do you know it? Dukey, should I just look it up on my handy? Do you hope that the steampunk people, when they're using their devices, their devices go beep, boop, 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 like a Victorian time traveler? That's how
right,
don't you hope that wouldn't you want to set up your device to make that noise?
Certainly.
So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to look up who wrote La Traviata. Beep, boop, 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 boop. Oh, sorry. It's not Puccini. Sorry.
Oh, dear.
Somebody called Piave?
Listen, at least we've gone from poo to pee.
It's close. Do you think they're going to hit the brown note in the opera, Dukey? Because for me, it's going to be a week trying to get an outfit, and then you're going to go there and you're going to have a brown note. That's going to be a problem.
I think that the opera's certainly going to be about the high notes and your wine glass being broken. I think you'd really need to see a full-on, enormous orchestra for the brown note really to happen. And also, to be fair, I think you really need to enter into the organ arena. You need to really be able to hit those low notes.
Okay, well,
around the 100 megahertz range and below.
Why do they have to sing everything?
Well,
Martha, why are you going to this if you really don't want to go?
Why? On opera, why do they have to sing everything? M. McDonald's.
Yeah, why am I going? Because a very nice friend of mine asked me to go, and she really wants to go. So, and it's one of those things that if you don't do it in your lifetime, It's kind of like, shouldn't you go to the opera like once in your lifetime?
Yes,
Shouldn't you?
I saw
you
the
been?
Magic Flute.
Okay, was it boring?
It was Mozart.
Okay, that's great. Did they sing everything? They didn't really need to
Yes.
sing.
It was a wonderful production.
Okay.
I know that for a lot of people who weren't exposed to opera from year dot, that the film Pretty Woman may have affected how they absorb the glories of opera for the first time. Richard Gere, quite famously in the film, chats with the Georgia-born actress Julia Roberts about the fact that when people are first exposed to opera, that their reactions are very interesting.
People's reactions to opera the first time they see it is very dramatic. They either love it or they hate it. If they love it, they will always love it. If they don't, they may learn to appreciate it, but it will never become part of their soul.
It'll never become part of their soul. However, if you see opera for the first time and you love it, it will indeed be part of your soul.
Wow.
And Julia Roberts' character, she cries during it.
Dukey, you remember all that. You know what I remember from that movie? I remember her in the bath singing Prince.
Digga, 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 da. Kiss.
Kiss. Don't you just love Prince?
So, Dukey, you haven't actually helped there because you want to know what Marcia's really worried about. She's worried about what she's going to wear.
Right.
I am. Like, what do you wear? Do I have to wear that dress? I mean, where do you even get that? Like, that dress is like, it's like going wedding dress shopping.
As in what Julia Roberts wears in
Yeah,
that scene.
like that must have cost like boo-foo. Do I have to wear that?
Yeah, and stop fidgeting, Marcia. Yes, so that's a line from the film.
And stop fidgeting.
Oh, I was like, oh God, now I'm getting told off. It's not just Syl. Oh, okay. I've only seen it once. It was a long time. Well, I'm worried about what to wear, and I'm also worried about being bored shitless.
Number one, you might want to think about some kind of a nappy if you're really worried about the glories of the brown
Okay,
note.
yeah, so I'm going to wear a diaper, right?
Yes.
And something waterproof in case you fall asleep and start drooling on yourself.
Yes.
Okay, you guys are being helpful.
If you've seen the most recent series of Curb Your Enthusiasm, in which Hamilton features quite heavily.
Yeah.
Yes. Larry David falls asleep twice at Hamilton.
Okay.
And there's various repercussions
right.
surrounding that. But that's more about that another time. Which theatre are you seeing this at? Which opera house, if you will?
The English National Opera.
Oh, so you're going to in Covent Garden?
Yeah.
Right.
So.
To be fair, that it doesn't need to be overly formal.
Well, that's what my friend said to me, but I'm like, what?
I was a twisted goth when I went to the opera. I had eyeliner from the previous night and leather jeans on.
Yeah, but you were a kid, presumably.
I was in my early 20s.
Still. Well, you want to talk about inappropriate wear for things that you do. I just went to the gym with no bra.
Oh.
Why would you go to the gym with no bra? Because I forgot.
Oh, or did you just want to show off your puppies?
No, I really didn't.
Right.
Because it was quite embarrassing.
You
You forgot to put a bra on? I did, and then I got to the gym, and I was like, oh gosh, I'm going to be jiggling everywhere.
And were you?
Well, yeah.
Were you wearing a tight T-shirt that at least kept things in?
No, I was wearing, my T-shirt was actually too loose. So, and then I'm on the treadmill, and this guy's across from me, and I'm getting all like, oh my God, I don't want to, like, but then I thought if he's looking there, then that's his problem. He shouldn't be looking there, should he? And he wasn't.
Right.
Well, that goes for women as well. Like, women could be looking at me and like, for God's sake, put a bra on. And I'm like, well, they shouldn't, it's really none of their business. But I also don't want to be like, distracting for people. Like, I'm trying to lift these weights and this woman's just jiggling all over the gym. So, yes, that was a bit of a problem for me. So, you can't always dress for the occasion. You just have to show up in whatever you're in. Whether it's braless at the gym or a diaper at the opera. That's what we're saying.
Exactly.
Yes, that's what we're saying.
Maybe you can wear a nappy and go braless, Marcia.
Yeah, it's hard for me to go braless, but, I could, I'll let you know how it goes.
friend of the Dukey radio show, Ben Wood, accompanied me to this steampunk festival.
Oh, yes, he did.
And by his own admission, he was surrounded by time travelers from 1890.
Yes.
Yet he himself looked like a big mod from Essex.
Oh, he does, and
Yeah.
he's so gorgeous with it.
He's beautiful. He's a beautiful man. And but to be fair, everyone treated him like he was one of the steampunk family.
Well, that's because he's wonderful, and
Yes.
he's quite fanciable, isn't he?
Oh, I think he's fab. I
Like,
think he's
you
beautiful.
fancy him.
Yes.
I fancy him. Everybody fancies him.
If you haven't listened to them, go back into the Dukey radio show archives, and there are not one but two, if memory serves, shows
Yes.
featuring Ben Wood, and one in which Lionel Richie's All Night Long turns into a musical. And
That's
Hello.
actually a really good idea.
I had the idea for it when I was doing a drive from a gig, and we improvised an entire musical, and it features in our podcast.
I need to listen to that again. Dukey, so I think Sylv needs to go buy some cheese popcorn and clearly a bra.
You need to get a nappy and to get rid of. You need to burn some bras.
Yeah, I need to go on, whatever website there is to find, opera wear with inbuilt diaper. And you need to be working on that brown note.
I think it's going to be somewhere around the B flat, and I need to turn up the bass. I need to get things rumbling and moving. And if things get rumbling, we might just get some doo-doo.
That's funny you should say that, Dukey, because for me, it's been kind of a doo-doo week. But for you, it's been more Dada.
Do.
Da-da-da-da.
We drink, we fuck, we party.
We party.
Well, that is indeed your lot. Brown notes and the combination of drinking, fucking, and partying. So, Dukey Radio Show. You've been listening to, well, as you guessed it, we drink, we fuck, we party. My name is Dukey, and I've been your host. Until next time, may the worst of tomorrow be the best of yesterday. Now it's time for me to go and pop my weasel. Thanks for listening.
Half a pound of tuppenny rice, half a pound of treacle. That's the way the money goes. Pop goes the weasel.
Facebook. Click on your mouse to our Facebook page. Facebook. It's easy to find, it will not take an age. Facebook. www.facebook.com/The Dukey Radio Show, the Dukey Radio Show. The thin white Dukey is right. Click your way to the Dukey Radio Show Facebook page, www.facebook.com/The Dukey Radio Show. The Dukey Radio Show, the Dukey Radio Show.
Dukey? What is this? Is this a song for babies or something? They're not even real words, are they? Oh, this is silly. They're all made up nonsense, silly words. I'm gonna go sing something that's got some real words in it.